Well, everybody, welcome back. 2019-2020 season. The Oakville Blades are fresh off their 52nd season, their best season yet in franchise history. Going to the Dudley Hewitt Cup, going to the National Junior A Championship. And alongside me here is Jamie Storr, former NHLer. He took the reins of the Oakville Blades this year, owner, president, head coach. Jamie, before we get into this upcoming season, there's a lot of new kids, few returning. Why don't you tell everybody where you come from, your background, and what the plan is going forward?
Well, I think obviously I grew up in Brampton, so we played our minor hockey there, and it's where I was there until I was 14 playing. I grew up playing minor hockey with the Brampton Maroons, and then I was lucky enough to play junior in the OJHL for the Brampton Capitals. It was Frank Carnavelli was the head coach at the time, and Mike Spadaccini was the general manager and owner. And I was really fortunate. They took me as a 14-year-old. We had to play. You got a chance to basically step right from Bantam into junior, and a great experience. I got to live at home, which was a huge bonus. And then as we were going, my brother played for the Raiders, was the Geminis and on the Raiders. My dad coached there as well. And it was a great hockey background to kind of come from, just that area, being able to play. And then obviously you get through playing junior B at the time. The junior A draft came available, and you had to be drafted in the first 3 rounds to be eligible, since we're underages. And I was fortunate enough, got drafted in the second round to Owen Sound, and ended up going to Owen Sound, played there for 3 years, and ended up getting drafted to the Kings. And I spent almost 10 years with the Kings there, and then after a while got bounced around a little bit. After 15 years I retired from playing, and at the time we had 2 kids and we had 1 on the way, so we decided that it was time to kind of set some roots, and we still had our place in Los Angeles, so we retired there. And we've been there for almost 9 years now, and this is going on our 10th year. And it just kind of came up that it was, what do we want to do? We were involved in hockey, we were involved with the Kings, the Alumni Association, and just going on through, do you want to get involved at that level? But because our kids are kind of growing up, coming through the game, we kind of grew a passion on kind of grassroots. So to get back involved in junior hockey was an interest, not only for us, but for the whole family. My wife's from Brampton as well, and her parents, still live there, and we have a lot of family back here. So it just kind of made sense that it was a great opportunity to kind of get involved, and we were fortunate enough to talk to the Blades at the time, was Wayne Parabou and Tony Canati. Yeah. And everything kind of worked out where we were able to step in and just start to get involved. We got involved last year towards the end, as they went on through the Dudley and into the National Championship. And it's since we've been back for almost 2 months. It's just a great environment, so we're excited.
Well, I'll tell you something. Myself and Matt, hey, we're not the only Brampton people now part of the team, no. So we got a few more. So that's a good thing. Why Oakville? I'm sure there could have been many other teams in the league, but why maybe, okay, let's come back home to Toronto, let's just say, in the general aspect, but why the Oakville Blades?
Well, you look at it, obviously, there's history behind. I mean, I played against the Blades when I was playing, and I remember a lot of the great players that played there. There was John Duff and Jamie Cuff were the 2 big players at that time. And when we got involved, it was started looking at teams available. We looked in different leagues, and obviously, if I moved into somewhere in the NAHL or you go to the BCHL, you're going to teams that it'd be like living out of sorts. It wouldn't be really that good for the family. There's no distinction of being involved where you feel like there's home. Coming back to Ontario was huge, but also being in an environment where a lot of our families in this area, so in the Oakville, Burlington area, and even Brampton. So coming here, you're in a situation where you feel like now you're basically able to get more involved. It's easier to see family. It's kind of like home. And obviously, the big thing is when you look at different organizations, the Blades with, in junior hockey, what I found is, you have to have a connection with the Minor Hockey Association, the facility itself, and then the history of the club. So, I knew the history of the club was really strong. The Minor Hockey Association is unbelievable. And, the facility is second to none. So this was a no-brainer, and it's been a great experience so far, and we're really looking forward to kind of carrying on with it.
This season coming up, you have a few new players, let's say, I'm sure more than a few. It's almost a revamped roster. I want to say I believe it's 6 to 9 returning players, including Jack Ricketts as the captain, Harrison Israel's assistant, Jack Lyons' assistant. Will Barber is still backstopping the team. What can you see on the ice, maybe that you've seen a little bit from afar from last year, that you can maybe keep the same, or any changes coming into this season?
I think the biggest thing is that, every year there's going to be a big turnover in junior hockey, because our job, isn't just to try and win the national championship. It's trying to develop these players so they can move forward. And what we're trying to instill is a junior program that we feel will be able to help these kids move on a year early. So it doesn't do well for us if a kid comes in at 16 and he leaves at 18 because he goes to college as a true freshman. But it does really well for that kid. And you look at what are the programs that do that.
Yeah.
The National Development Program is one of the best in the U.S. that takes kids at 17, and by 18 they're ready to go to college. So, obviously the skill level is there from what they're able to take, but what we looked at is what can we, instill that would help these kids hopefully get an opportunity to maybe go a year early. But one of the things we found is that, Mike Tarantino has done an unbelievable job with this organization. Yeah. He's been unbelievable in this league for a long time, so we're so fortunate that Mike stayed on and being able to be a big part of it. He's the vice president of hockey operations, and he basically, between him and Jordan, helped build the team. So when we're looking at the players, you're looking at not only for this year, but you're also looking at for how many years. So our roster right now, minus kids going to school a year early, you're in a position where we'd have 18 returning players next year. So
that's the position you want to be in, isn't it?
Well, you know what, overall it's no different than any team that you're taking on. You're not only looking at this year, but you're looking at the future as well. And one of the things we have is because we're in a position where you have ownership as well as the coaching side of it. You have both sides covered. Normally a coach has to worry about winning and developing. We're in a position where we're able to focus on the development along with the winning. But we'll have the patience to watch these kids go through the ups and downs that they're going to have to be good junior players. But we feel like the talent level is where it needs to be. We feel like every kid has the capability of being a college player, a Division I player, and it's up to us to try and get them there. So we're excited about it.
2-0 in the preseason. You have your last game here against Georgetown. What have you seen from the team so far over the first couple of preseason games that you can maybe translate into the regular season, and what can you expect from the boys on the ice?
Well, I mean, it's a really talented group. They're very young, but they have a lot of skill, and the veteran core with obviously our 399s there with the two Jacks and Harrison, quality people. They're great leaders. They're not only great hockey players, great leaders, and they all have they'll bring something to the table. Normally your 20-year-olds are usually more concerned about life after hockey, and they're not as concerned about what they're trying to get out of hockey at this point. And our 20-year-olds are all committed to college or on the verge of being committed to college, and the reality is that they're more excited about the process of the development as our young kids. So with that leadership, it brings in all of a sudden the youth. And the funny thing is, you look at our 01s with we have returning O'Hara and McDermott. Those are two fantastic players. They'll carry a bigger role this year, and we'll build off it. We added a tremendous player in Justin Rendawa. He's going to be up there. He's going to push the pace. We have Jacob King came in as well. He's a great addition, fantastic player. He's playing on our second line right now, doing really well. We have Luke Croucher, came from Hamilton, Junior B program. So all these kids are pretty much local kids that are on the verge of basically, kind of hitting the mark they need to, which is to be effective at this level so they can prove they can play at the next level. And our kids that came from midget, they're really skilled. And the funny thing is, the game's changed a little bit where the younger players that come in, they're not as raw as they used to be. Yeah. They're working out just as hard as the older guys, and the only difference is they just have to get caught up to the speed of the game. But we're helping with that adjustment, and we're excited where the club's going.
And finally, Jamie, you're speaking about obviously the kids moving forward and everyone getting these commitments and all that. The Oakville Blades are probably one of the most historic franchises in the Ontario Junior Hockey League in giving these players opportunities to go to OHL, NCAA Division I scholarships, even Division II or NAHL, just moving USHL, moving up and up and up. What was so impressive to you, especially, I guess, looking from afar last year, 11 to 13 commitments, but just continuing these commitments from these players moving forward in the Oakville system?
Well, one of the things they have is obviously they have it's an organization that kids want to come to. I mean, you could be an unbelievable organization. If no one wants to come play for you, you're not going to have any commitments, or you're not gonna have any fun with it, but they have a little bit of everything, and I think that Mike's done a fantastic job as well in connecting the the colleges to the program and making sure that every kid gets just someone pushing for them. But I think realistically, the thing we're looking at is we're trying to look past that as well. It's not just about what we have going for the near future. We're also looking on some of the top teams. You guys played Brooks in the finals there, and you got a chance to play Prince George, and the reality is they had 17 and 15.
Those were good teams, let me tell you.
Respectively. And the one thing is, so they had 9 players from Ontario playing on their team. So
Exactly.
what can we do to make sure that these kids, just like Ryan O'Hara and Jack Ricketts and Harrison Israels, why did they stay and play in Oakville, right? And that's kind of where we're going, is at the end of the day, when they see the type of program that we have here, the development we're gonna have, we're gonna continue to maintain, build off what they've done and add to it. I think we're gonna see a program that's basically gonna be worth every opportunity, and every dollar that you have to spend to be here is, it's a place for your kids to develop, and you get to watch them locally as opposed to having to travel.
Jamie, I appreciate your time before the last preseason game here at home. Congratulations on, of course, getting the team and being in Oakville, and best of luck the entire way, and I appreciate it very much.
No worries, thank you.
Everybody, the Oakville Blades will be on hockeytv.com and on Oakville Blades Radio, as Fire and Ice will be back on the call Saturday, a week today, as the Oakville Blades play their home opener here at the 16 Mile Sports Complex. Folks, you can watch it, but hey, come to the rink. It's going to be a dandy. I'm Nicholas Fiore, the broadcast voice of the Oakville Blades. Thank you very much.